Just pretend like you're a goat. Bah.
Arrested for being purple?
Yeah.
You should have said you identify as Barney.
My pronouns are he and
Dinosaur and...
dinosaur.
Oh man, what a world.
Yippity-doo.
I'm from Michigan. Grew up on a farm. Went to college at the University of Cincinnati. And as you can tell, I'm making great use of my architectural degree. I've been homeless for 15 years. And I did it by choice. I was looking for a challenge in my life.
As kind of like a social experiment at first?
As a social experiment.
Okay. So basically you fell in love with what part of the lifestyle?
Oh, the freedom.
The freedom. There it is.
I don't report to anybody. I don't have to do anything. I can wake up and do whatever I want to do every day. And it's like being on permanent vacation. Well, my architecture practice used to be in the third floor of that building right there. I could go up there and open my architecture practice today if I wanted to. But why would I? I'm having so much fun doing what I'm doing. So I got divorced, I started traveling again, closed up my business, learned how to play the guitar, got my easel out of storage and started painting again.
Since being homeless?
Yeah, because now I have all this time on my hands to do all the stuff that I never got to do before.
Have you been homeless the whole time in Savannah?
What I do is I use this as like my home base. One thing that I like to do every year, I'll drop into a town where I don't know anybody. I'll just go up to the Greyhound bus and get a Greyhound bus ticket to somewhere.
Okay.
Where's your next bus going? My last one was San Francisco.
How was that?
I spent 6 months out there.
Is there a lot of homeless people there?
A lot of homeless people.
Does that make more competition? Is it harder to survive when there's an excess of homeless people? Or
it is, but it's part of my research.
There is the freedom aspect, but I'm sure there's some cons to being homeless. Or is it pretty much a walk in the park for you every day?
I have never been so happy in my entire life. Never went to bed hungry. Usually go to bed drunk, high, and stoned. I don't have any addictions. That's the distinction.
Okay. So you have the power of control.
I've never turned down free drugs in my entire life.
Okay. I like that.
And that's part of why I live this lifestyle the way that I do.
Yeah.
Man, I'm constantly on something.
Okay.
Somebody gave me some experimental drugs the other day. It was just like doing meth, except you could sleep.
Interesting. So it must have been like a bath salt or some sort.
Yeah, something like
That's
that.
very popular nowadays.
I don't even know what it was, but I took it anyway. I was just going to all my friends, and every time they'd do it, I'd do it for like 3 days until it was gone. And I was pretty much up that whole 3 days, but then I slept for like 48 hours.
Oh, wow.
Woke up, I was still high, and I was high for like 2 weeks.
No way. 2 weeks?
2 weeks this shit was.
Was it enjoyable?
I liked it, but a lot of my friends did not. All right, so what are we drinking? Are we doing shots or are we going to do a half gallon? People give us money and we almost immediately go to the liquor store.
Okay.
And buy a half gallon of vodka and share it with all of our friends.
But wouldn't some people want to save that money to eventually get off the street?
I read this book called The Architecture of Happiness.
Okay.
And you don't have to read the book, I'll summarize it for you.
Perfect.
What it concludes is that we should all just live in tents.
Oh, yeah?
So what am I supposed to do with my architecture degree now that I don't believe in architecture anymore?
Okay. I see where you're getting at.
Oh, there you go.
The homeless community in and of itself has its own like rules and hierarchy, because I noticed like some people have a specific spot and that's their spot. If you go there, then they kind of get a little upset.
Oh, there's all kinds of rules.
Yeah, there's
and that's
rules.
why it takes a while.
What are some of the rules? I know that rule.
A lot of them lie about being a veteran. A lot of them lie. That's probably rule number 2. Do not claim to be a veteran if you're not a veteran, because I think it's going to make them money.
Yeah. A lot of people give their lives for this country, and to say that is really kind of low.
And there's a lot of homeless people that are veterans. I've gotten to know a lot of them over the years here in Savannah. A lot of them live in tent cities. The society disciplines itself.
Like, is violence the answer, or is there other ways to go about it?
Violence many times is the answer. It works, you know, it works. Yeah. If somebody steals my shit and somebody that I know goes walking down the street and sees my backpack on somebody else's back, there's gonna be a beating involved.
Okay.
Probably multiple beatings.
So you guys look out for each other.
Yeah, there's a whole society, like an undercurrent that's almost invisible to the average person. It has its own language, and I'm really interested in things that have their own language.
Language as far as like the drug
Well,
community?
have you ever heard of the word spange before?
Spange? No.
Okay, spanging is how I make my living. Works in every city I've ever been to. If you can make somebody laugh, there's a good chance they will give you money. Flying a sign is the most obvious way to do it.
Right.
But that's exactly why I don't fly a sign. I have flown a sign. I'm really good at it.
Yeah?
I made a sign. I was in New York City in Midtown Manhattan, okay? And I made a sign that said, I like to hold cardboard and people give me lots of money. Why did I go to college? And I made like $762 that day.
Wow.
Because people said I made them laugh.
Yeah.
And most people, when they make a sign, it's the woe is me sign. That's what I call it.
The woe is me?
Woe is me. Like, my life sucks.
Oh,
and let me tell you all about it.
Yeah.
And they'll write this whole cardboard sign about all the things that are wrong with their life and stuff like that. You know, in the hope that you give them money, and they hardly make any money at all.
Yeah.
You know, sleep spanging is my latest one.
Sleep spanging? So
I'll make a little cardboard sign that just says like anything helps. And in chalk, I wrote help me on the sidewalk. And I fell asleep on the sidewalk, and I wake up and there's money in my first aid kit.
Wouldn't you know?
And I didn't have to do anything for it.
Why do you choose this area as opposed to by the river? Because I heard by the river is where you make most of the money.
Because I'm not interested in making money. What you and I do, it's not that different. You run a YouTube channel and that kind of stuff. And so it's all about content. If I'm constantly producing content,
which is you being funny or those kind of things.
Yeah, if I have a guitar, I play a guitar. If I have a ukulele, I play a ukulele.
Mm-hmm.
Making money is something that happens when I entertain people. And I currently have, let's see, $1.34.
Does that stress you out?
Not in the least.
Not in the least?
I can make a lot of money really fast.
So what would be a good day for you?
$50.
$50? Okay.
Well, $50 is to buy $20 worth of weed. A half gallon is $20, and then that leaves me $10 in my pocket for tomorrow.
And food sometimes, right?
People now know that the homeless people hang out up here,
And they bring food?
and they bring us food.
So you really don't have to worry about that expense?
And of course, I'm older now. I'm borderline alcoholic. And what I mean by borderline alcoholic is I don't wake up and get the shakes in the morning. I know from drinking enough over the years that you don't have to eat.
You don't have to eat if you drink?
You can just drink. $20 bought me a half gallon of vodka, a pack of cigarettes, and a Coke. It's so cheap here. So this is everything that I own, and everything that I own has been a gift to me. I've got drugs, Vraylar. I'm currently on Vraylar.
What is that, antibiotic?
No, antipsychotic. This is all my medical paperwork. There's a bus pass.
Change of clothes.
More medication. I spend a lot of time in the psych hospital.
Who put you in there?
Well, the cops will be like, do you want to go to jail or do you want to go to Gateway? Gateway, of course. Yeah, I don't want to go to jail.
So why would they put you in jail? For being homeless or for?
For being homeless, for sleeping in public, for what they call making private use of public space, which is what we're doing right now.
Nice.
And I don't even think that was a law yet.
I'm running.
I think they just made that up. But I have been abused by the cops. I've been beaten down by the cops.
Here?
I've been arrested before for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I was a little drunk, but no more than anybody else in town was drunk.
Okay.
You know, I mean, this is a drinking town. My last run-in with the cops was I covered myself in purple oil paint,
Nice.
head to toe.
In purple oil paint. So you were Barney.
If people were calling the cops on me.
For being purple? There's a... Was that here in this park?
Yeah.
What was the reason? Like, what were you just trying to make a statement? Or you were just bored? So
Just something to do.
So on the police report, arrested for being purple.
Yeah.
You should have said you identify as Barney.
I identify as Barney.
And
Yeah,
then lawsuit.
My pronouns are he and
Dinosaur and
dinosaur.
Oh man, what a world.
I would never dream of telling you how to live your life. Just like I know that you would never dream of telling me how to live my life. And therefore, what do we need all these rules for? You just summarized it very clearly. Happiness, you know, living a lifestyle. This is Jacob, by the way.
What's up, Jacob? So happiness is the goal.
Happiness is the goal, man.
Hey man, thank you.
I had fun this afternoon.
Yeah,
Thanks
that was
for
a good
that.
time.
It didn't even feel like an interview. It just felt like
A conversation.
people sitting in the park talking.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's how I want it to be. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
You're
God
welcome,
bless.
man.
Hey, God bless, Jacob.
I don't know what to say about
Can I give you my name so you can look up my music or
Yeah, go ahead.
photography, video,
Yeah.
production?
Jacob what? What's your music?
Bandi, Bandai.